Hello, everyone, and hopefully you can hear me and see me. My name is Heidi Solomon-Orlick, and I am Vice President of Global Sales for VXI Global Solutions and founder and CEO of Girls Who Sell. I'm going to pull up my presentation, so bear with me here. And I am super excited to be here today. I hope you all are having a great conference. I'm here to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how to encourage women to get into a sales career and how do we drive additional diversity. So let's start and get this party started. Hopefully, been having a little bit of technical difficulty, so hopefully you can hear the video. Here we go. Woo! All right, we're ready to get started. So first, I'd like to ask you a question. And have you think about this. If you could achieve an 11% higher win rate, an 8% higher chance of stage and deal acceleration, 8% higher chance of quota attainment, and a 19% higher revenue through increased team delivery, would you hire more women in sales? It's kind of a no-brainer, right? So let's talk about what the challenge is. First of all, women are significantly underrepresented in sales. Today, 35% of the 2 million individuals in the US that are in B2B, complex B2B sales careers are represented by women. And of that 35%, 90+% are white women. 19% is the percentage of women in B2B sales leadership roles versus men. And once you begin to peel back the onion and start looking at different industry sectors, particularly tech sales, which is the fastest growing area of B2B sales today, the numbers drop to 12%. And again, if you overlay any kind of diversity statistics, such as the percentage of women of color who are in complex B2B sales, the numbers are just downright dismal. They drop into the low single digits. The facts are that 86% of women meet or exceed their sales quota versus 78% for men. So we outperform our male counterparts. Women are 5% more likely to close a deal. They have an 11% higher annual win rate, and they have deals move through the stages at a greater, more accelerated pace. So 54% of deals led by women move to the next stage versus 49% for men. And the number that really, really is near and dear to my heart is that 62% of companies who have 45% or more women in their sales ranks drove higher than average levels of profitable revenue. So not only are women over-delivering on their sales and revenue objectives, but the sales that they are bringing into the company are overall more profitable. Women also have the innate personality traits to be successful at sales. We have this ability to be able to straddle the fence and balance our head with our heart. Some of the data shows that women have stronger emotional intelligence. We lead with empathy. We are more intuitive, and we tend to have a greater ability of being able to read the room. we have stronger critical questioning skills. We are curious. We ask why, and we have the ability to dig deeper and ask clients questions that are going to lead us to solutions that are going to be able to move their business forward. We have strong active listening skills. We're natural collaborators, natural connectors. We're relationship oriented. Our focus is on solving problems. We like to be a part of a team. Women generally are not lone wolves. We appreciate the ability to collaborate and work on teams. We're relationship oriented and relationship focused. So we're not necessarily coming in to try to just get a deal done and to move on to the next deal. We women are generally focused on building sustained relationships and longer term relationships with clients. We take initiative and we have the ability to drive results. And overall, because of some of these skill sets, women generally can build relationships based on mutual trust and respect with the clients. So if we're, equal or better at sales, and we have the innate personality skill set to be successful in sales, why is there a gap? Why are more women not in sales? Well, we took to the LinkedIn community. There is a lot of data online and a lot of great articles, but we went live with the LinkedIn community and asked people to provide us feedback in a survey. We had over 20,000 people review the survey, hundreds of responses, and hundreds of individuals respond to the survey. And we looked at a couple of different areas. First and foremost, and the number one answer that came up of why women are not in sales is because of lack of diversity or the bro culture. So that was, one of the main issues was just overall culture, and negative perception was second. In his book, To Sell is Human, Dan Pink went out and described, asked people to describe what they think about when they hear the word sales. And interestingly enough, the main adjectives that were used was that people who are in sales are pushy or annoying or manipulative or dishonest. There's this perception that you need to be a used car salesperson or Wolf of Wall Street. And I think that it's really time for us to begin to dispel some of the negative perception on sales. These are words that no woman or man, for that matter, wants to be associated with. The other thing that came up is that women don't apply. Today, there are over 1 million sales job openings, according to the Wall Street Journal. And the biggest complaint that we hear from organizations that are looking to hire more women in sales and have a focus on diversity hiring is that either women are just not applying, or there's not enough qualified female candidates. And I would like to say that there's a couple of reasons for that. Research shows that women are hesitant to apply for roles unless they can check all of the boxes, whereas men will look at the job qualifications, and if they may meet 50 to 60% of those job qualifications, they will go ahead and apply. And so that is one of the reasons why we don't see as many women applying for jobs as possible. The other issue is just the fact that the job descriptions for sales roles tend to be a little bit misleading. Tech jobs in particular, the tech job descriptions in particular are usually geared towards males and have a long, long list of skills, most of which aren't needed or can be learned on the job. But when women look at those skill sets and the job requirements that it would take to be able to get the job, they just opt out and decide not to apply altogether. The other thing in terms of, some of the reasons that bubbled up to the top is that the perception that sales is commission-based and an unstable career. One of the things that we look to do is educate women, particularly in B2B sales, that while there is a commission or bonus component to sales, that you can have a base salary and that sales is a viable and stable career opportunity that can provide, financial independence. The other issue and concern that was brought up by many women is their ability to balance being on the road and traveling and having a family and trying to provide for childcare. And that's a real issue. Hopefully, and we're going to talk to this a little bit more later on, is that companies are beginning, especially post-COVID, to create more flexible environments that will be able to support women in their childcare responsibilities. The other issue is that women in general are just unaware that sales is a viable career alternative. If you look at, the majors, college majors as an example, there's very few colleges today. It's changing, but there's very few colleges today that actually have sales certifications or sales majors. And sales, unlike, let's say, STEM, is not necessarily positioned as a viable career option for women to consider, and that needs to change. There's a lack of training available, and particularly options at the entry-level position. It's really important for companies to begin to think about creating early stage opportunities for women so that they can join the organization, and through mentorship and training, they can career path up into leadership level positions. The other big issue is that recruiting ads in general do not appeal to women. Sales job descriptions in particular tend to include masculine language like hunter or aggressive or come in and compete. And sales ads in general tend not to be gender neutral. An interesting statistic is that only 38% of job ads use gender neutral words, despite the fact that those postings way outperform other ads that do not have gender neutral wording. And so I do believe that as companies audit and begin to evaluate their advertising campaigns and recruiting advertising, that the use of gender neutral language will definitely help to not only attract more women into sales, but give them more confidence to apply. And that goes to our last bullet point, which is there is a confidence gap. Women are not quite as confident as men in their ability to be able to meet the job qualifications that are being laid out, and so that they opt not to apply in general. So what can we do? How can we solve for these problems, and how can we attract more women into the workplace? I think first and foremost, we need to reinvent the workplace, centering the voices and needs of women. We need to get creative in terms of providing more flexible schedules, and the ability for women to be able to more effectively balance the needs of the workplace and the demanding needs that we have at home. Second, we need to really take a step back and audit our recruiting ads. We need to look at the language that we're using and modify those ads to assure that we are appealing to women, that we are including language that talks about how they can join an environment that is collaborative, how they can be a part of a team, how they can work with others to be able to solve problems and to establish long-lasting relationships with clients, how they can help to move the needle by creating solutions that are going to be able to solve business challenges. That is what's going to appeal to a woman who's looking for a job in sales. The third thing is that I believe companies need to review their sales talent strategies. Sales recruiting, just in general, is biased already. Bias is inherent in the hiring process. We, feel more comfortable hiring people that look like us or think like us. And so we need to begin to get more creative in terms of how we address bias, provide bias training, eliminate hiring biases, and get intentional about our diversity hiring strategies. Not only do we need to say that we want to hire more women, but we need to have measurable goals and be able to track statistics to assure that we are actually hiring more women in sales. We need to create a safe and supportive culture built on transparency and have the ability to call out bad behavior. It's one thing, adapting our recruiting advertising and getting creative and looking at alternate channels to be able to attract and hire top female sales talent. But then once we build that pipeline and get them into the organization, we need to create a nurturing and supportive culture that is going to, where we're going to be able to retain them. And that means that we need to provide ongoing training. If there are qualifications that a woman does not meet, we need to be able to identify those gaps, and we need to be able to provide strategic and targeted training to assure that we set women up for success. There also needs to be specific career pathing opportunities. There's a big fallout going from women starting their careers in sales to progressing into sales leadership, and that needs to be addressed. We need to be very intentional about the long-term career opportunities and be sure that we are considering women for positions that are opening up both short-term and long-term. And we need to provide mentorship. To be honest, with the how male-dominated the B2B sales industry still is, we need our male allies. There is no way that we are going to drive a higher level of diversity in B2B sales without getting our male allies on board. So this is a call to action for the men who are here listening. Please Mentor women, sponsor women, identify someone in your organization that you feel has the drive and the passion and the innate skill set to be successful in sales, and take them under your wing and help nurture them and move them along in the organization. Bringing more women into sales does not mean that the jobs for men are in jeopardy. We need to begin to break down that fear and be able to educate men that bringing more diversity into the workplace in general and bringing more women into sales is good for business and good for the bottom line. The other thing is I think that organizations need to begin to get creative and consider hiring from non-traditional backgrounds. So a lot of the advertising, recruiting ads that are out there are calling for individuals with a certain number of years experience in B2B sales. But there are a lot of other areas that have transferable skills where women can be very successful. For instance, looking at retail sales position or multi-level marketing or real estate sales or under other non-traditional industry sectors is a really good way to attract qualified candidates and open up opportunities for women that may not have been considered in the past. So I guess I'll end with I hope that you'll jump on board, you'll join the movement. We can change the face of sales and commit to hiring more women. Thank you. Feel free to reach out. I'm very accessible, Heidi Solomon-Orlick on LinkedIn. Feel free to connect or feel free to, email me at